Kingdom Come Deliverance II's success shakes things up at the Embracer Group. Sony potentially not holding a summer showcase this year, and Funko Fusion developer cuts jobs after critical failure. All of that on the TripleJump gaming news. Well, hello, happy Monday, everyone.
Yep.
Another day, another news day.
It's really cold in here.
We forgot to turn the heating on in the office, and therefore it's really cold. So we're going to shiver our way through this news today.
Yeah.
And I hope you enjoy it.
We'll warm ourselves up with some exciting news.
Indeed. What's up first, Peter Austin?
Well, Kingdom Come Deliverance II has obviously been doing very well, and Embracer Group are like, oh wow, oh yeah, good games.
Yeah.
We remember now.
Certified bad corporation, the Embracer Group,
who
are the parent company to Warhorse, who developed Kingdom Come Deliverance II. They have finally realised that making good games is a good thing.
Well, I'm sort of hoping they have. So this is being reported a certain way, and I do kind of have an interpretation of it elsewhere, but or in a different direction. But we'll read what they said. So it was reported by VGC in this instance. Kingdom Come Deliverance II. Sorry, the statistic reported by VGC is that the game is nearing 2 million units sold across all platforms in just under 2 weeks. And it hit 1 million on launch day alone, which is very exciting for them. And apparently it's reminded developer Warhorse, their parent company Embracer Group, that selling good games that people like and want to buy is an important part of the business. That's not the quote.
No.
What's the quote, Ashton?
The quote comes from Embracer CEO Lars Vingefors, maybe.
Yeah.
He has come up with some right stinkers in the past regarding that the most important person in this company is the shareholder, so that's fun. But he has said, the success of Kingdom Come Deliverance II is a reminder of our core, to bring great products to the market. Don't know when that was their core. It's not been for a while.
No.
High quality teams need to have the resources and the time to execute their visions. When you have the right teams, this trust benefits everyone, including gamers, employees, and shareholders. I am convinced that we will remain among the industry leaders in our core business verticals in the future.
Shareholders, the most important.
I love that he still thinks he's among the industry.
Yeah, exactly. So he does use the word reminder, and so I can see why some people are looking at this saying, oh, they've had like a bit of an epiphany, this could be like quite interesting, are they maybe going to slightly change their tactics? I kind of feel like he's saying this isn't news to him. He thinks he's always been doing this.
It's a reminder to everyone else.
Yeah, and we're reminding the industry that like what our core is and always has been.
Yeah.
So I don't know if necessarily this is them having any kind of light bulb moment, or if he's just saying, yep, great game, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
That's just reminding everyone how great we are.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, it's not difficult to think about Embracer in a negative way.
Yeah.
I mean, they've had some proper stinkers. They are responsible for the Gollum game, and I will never forgive them for that.
Yeah.
They've also cancelled the new Deus Ex game.
Yeah.
They had many layoffs and many closures of studios. They sold Gearbox to Take-Two. They sold Saber to Beacon Interactive, Dark Horse Comics, Eidos Montreal, PlayOn, and more all got shut down, with so many layoffs being because of that. Because what Embracer Group did was suck up everything and just get them to make whatever they wanted. And that's Embracer, not the actual companies themselves. And then just let them go, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
But then because this one has worked, they've been like, we always knew we were good at this.
Yeah.
We are the best, and we've been doing this the whole time, and you guys are wrong for thinking we weren't.
And this just reminds us how good we are. So, I mean, I would like to think that maybe they are really looking at this thinking, okay, this was a big success for us. What can we take from this? You know, what should we do going forward? But I think the proof of the pudding will be in the next Embracer Group published game, I guess.
Yes, but congratulations to Warhorse on what has been a fantastically received game.
I'm sure they're watching.
They are, big fans. Next up then, Sony. We had a state of play from them last week that went down relatively well.
Yeah.
I mean, you never really know on the internet, do you? That everyone's got an opinion, but they might not be holding a showcase this year.
No.
They might still hold a smaller state of play, but we might not get a PlayStation showcase this year.
Yeah, they seem to be undecided at the moment, which I guess in itself is not a great sign. So Sony reportedly hasn't decided whether to hold its annual PS5 showcase this summer or a smaller scale state of play. That's according to Giant Bomb journalist Jeff Grubb, who says Sony are currently debating internally between the two models, the latter of which, State of Play, focuses more on third-party games and smaller announcements, as we know, which we've already had, as you say.
Yes, yeah. So it's quite usual for us to get a PlayStation showcase in the summer in place of an E3 situation. It happened 2020 to 2023, but we actually didn't get one last year either.
No.
So there may not be one this year. Apparently, there sounds like there's debating and flopping between, and they're maybe making something this summer, a full showcase versus another state of play, but they are considering a showcase. So it's like not a yes or a no situation, but it may be that we don't get a look at as many first-party games. Maybe they haven't got as much to say regarding what's coming out at the moment. So yeah, it's an interesting one.
That's what it feels like. I mean, we already know that in terms of what's going on at the moment, there aren't a whole lot of kind of first-party big projects going on at Sony that they can talk about. I mean, you know, there might be things that they've not told us about, and that would be the whole point of a showcase, to say, oh, we do have things, and here they are, here's a first reveal. But in terms of updating us on what's already going on, there's less to update us on at the moment, having, you know, just cancelled a load of live service games and not had a great deal of single player stuff in the works as things stand. Also, in the same interview, Jeff Grubb confirms, or seems to confirm, that Fair Game $, Fair Games, the heist shooter game from Jade Raymond's new studio Haven, has allegedly been delayed. So I think we're looking at 2026 now for that game.
Yeah, so it makes sense that we're maybe not getting a showcase this year, given that, I mean, in context of the 2023 showcase, it announced Metal Gear Solid Delta, it had an extensive look at Spider-Man 2, Dragon's Dogma 2, and more, which are all massive games. And right now, the only things we know about from Sony that are that size are things like Wolverine. And potentially Fair Games, maybe Ghost of Yotei, maybe Death Stranding, but all of those are sort of coming in different places. Obviously, always going to have Summer Game Fest as well. So maybe if they haven't got enough big stuff to talk about, like these big first-party titles, maybe we'll see them just slip their games into things like Summer Game Fest rather than hosting their own massive showcase. Yeah,
it doesn't necessarily mean we're not going to hear about any of their big projects this year, because even if they do a state of play, they could still talk about something big in that, or they could reserve the state of play for smaller things, but then, as you say, take their very biggest announcement to Summer Game Fest or something. Yeah,
I mean, admittedly, whatever we would hear about in the summer wouldn't be coming out probably until 2026 anyway.
Yeah.
And Fair Games, we don't know much about at all, other than the fact that it is meant to come out this year. So maybe we'll see that being announced soon, or maybe that will be pushed to 2026, or like many of other Sony's live service games, binned entirely.
Yeah, potentially, but it must be they must have put so much into it already. That's the one they've been talking about the most, it feels like.
Yeah.
The other ones that were cancelled were mostly, as I recall, things that we've not even seen anything of yet.
That's
so
true.
far. But,
this is true.
Yeah.
Lastly then, more things what are bad. Funko Fusion developer 1010 Games has initiated redundancies following the complete commercial and critical failure of their first game, Funko Fusion.
Yeah.
That game was a real stinker.
It was, and you know, I can see how, I think on paper, to a big sort of a room full of suits, I can see how they might think that is a winning formula. People love Funko Pops. It's basically just, it's like lots of other games where you can play as loads of different characters. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
But in practice, I don't know. I'm not surprised that this is not done very well, is what I'm saying there.
But I think the most interesting part about this whole story is how they have handled this. So 1010 Games are a UK-based studio. And the things so this is reported by Insider Gaming, and they had some people reach out to them anonymously, and in the wake of poor performance, studio wasn't able to secure funding for more future projects, so they've let some people go, up to 19 jobs at risk according to them in mid-January. And then through this entire process into like finding out who had lost their jobs, they have just been not very supportive or good.
Yeah, so apparently that people have been encouraged to take holiday recently over the holiday period and sort of into January, it sounds like. And so, perhaps with the people at the top at 1010 knowing in the back of their mind there might be issues here going forward, but they were encouraged to take holiday. And then some of those people who are on holiday and are abroad have been requested to, or pretty much instructed to attend their consultation meetings regarding potential layoffs from abroad in a different time zone sometimes. So they're having like remote meetings about their potential layoff after having been encouraged to take holiday. And also there's a question of, have they also been encouraging them to take the holiday so that they don't have to pay them as much like money in lieu.
Holiday,
for your unused holiday when you get made redundant in the UK.
Yeah, so they were told that if they were being let go, they would be fully supported through the process, which included severance pay and assistance with finding more work. Insider Gaming was told that has not happened. They also were told that management really wanted to wrap the process up quickly and say that they were open to feedback and suggestions. None of those were taken on board, so it was kind of just an empty promise with that one. The severance package was apparently barely above the legal limit, the legal minimum, and again was notice periods and payment for holiday, which they were encouraged to take, was the minimum that they are legally required to give.
Yeah.
So it's all been a bit awful, really, from 1010. And I know that, games don't always work out.
No,
and if you can't
that.
get the funding, then obviously you can't necessarily move forward. However, this whole process has been so dodgy, and our thoughts are with all of the devs who have been laid off and who have been affected by these cuts, and the fact that they have just not worked very nicely with the people who helped them make this game in the first place is real scummy.
It's really disappointing actually, because although Funko Fusion has always meant absolutely nothing to me, I've wanted to watch 1010 games as they go forward, because they are the CEO, or whatever his title is, the guy at the top, John Burton, is formerly of TT Games, like Traveller's Tales, and he's worked on loads of stuff that I loved when I was growing up. Like he did a lot of Disney interactive games, he did most of the Lego games. I think maybe some of the staff as well might be former Telltale developers. So, Telltale's got a great, Traveller's Tales, I should be saying. I don't know how many times I said Telltale there. Traveller's Tales. They've got a great kind of pedigree to them and a great history, a great legacy. And so it's a shame that they've kind of become this little spiritual successor, and now this is how they've handled their first game and the layoffs associated with it.
Yeah, it's a big shame, but maybe they'll find another game that they can work on.
Hopefully.
That they can recover some favour with the gaming community.
And there might still be time to slightly recover the way they're handling this if people haven't been fully let go yet.
Yes.
But
let us know. Do you think Embracer Group are going to change? Do you think there's going to be a Sony showcase this year? And what do you think about Funko Fusion? Did you like it?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Did you
I
give
thought
it a
it
go?
was boring.
Oh.
I played it on stream and I said, this stinks.
That's a shame.
But anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure you're following our social media pages for all the latest news, and make sure you're subscribing to this channel because we do news 3 times a week. So you can keep up to date with what's happening in the gaming world with us.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks for watching. We'll see you very soon then.
Bye.